Hello everybody, my name is welcome back to Let's Play Orenburg in Hearts of Iron 4, The New Order. Let us continue on. So we have just begun the 58th Congress. We'll see if that goes well at all. I'm going to go and probably say not, given historical precedent here. And this just gives us more and more factories, which is wonderful. So I'm going to save it for 100 and try to get another free military factory. Because building factories is a no-go. To say the least. Like, this is 1967. This has been building since the very beginning of the game, and we are a quarter of the way done. So, just using the 100 political points to just build a new, what the hell am I trying to say? To build a new thing would be, it's just more plausible. So now we are fighting the controversy, so we have, what? 100 days roughly until we have done everything in our tech tree. So we don't know what you're doing. Soviet stratagems. What is that? Okay, so you've decided to strike at the Urals. That's better than attacking me, which is good. Land doctrine research. Soviet mastery. When do you actually attack me? Second free. Like, just, like, don't... Try not to kill me, please. You don't need to go anywhere. Again, why does it remake armies every single time that happens? Every time. I don't understand. Every single time. Again, we have no troops. We have no manpower, so every time I don't know who you're even killing. Unless it takes manpower off these armies, but I don't think that's true. I don't think that's how it works. And then we're going to go to make compromises, 35 days. The chairman's controversy. Like every good socialist urban commune, I have despised hierarchy in all its forms. The latter is dangerous not because it's power, but because it is inevitably the invisible fears it creates. I hereby warn the council and all that gathered here today, in particular, that the election of a chairman, our greatest exercise in liberty as a councillor, might also prove to be our last. We know, friends, that the abusive and terrible Union was a false prophet, preaching Marx while tossing his word aside whenever it was convenient for the regime. We founded the communes with the hopes that we would erase that history and start again without the wounds inflicted by those who claim to be socialists in name but are predators by nature. But the imperatives which power a chairman, the need for agreement and order, which lead us into a dark and better road for totalitarianism, all with all the best of intentions. So I beseech the council, look outside at the freedom we have before we vote. Is the poverty of the soul really worth the material advancements? Can you trade liberty for gold, friends? And would you even want if you could? So political power plus fluidity and authoritarian and socialism and democracy both go up by 7%. So right now I'm guessing it's still yeah, Malikov is still the one who has the most power at the moment. We have 4 points. We can get that free military factory. Fantastic. We have now doubled weapon production since the very beginning of the game, which, again, isn't really saying much. Do we actually have anything in these armies, or is it just, it's just the infantry? Okay. So again, we have the rifles. We just need, the manpower, and that's what we're missing. As soon as we actually have troops to put into, to hold these rifles, then things will be going a little bit better for us. Have a healthy, fit, and strong. We don't know what you're doing. We don't know what you're doing. And then you guys, everybody, all the other neighbors here basically can't do anything. Tartar Sands, Samara, Novopolska, Krantiao? I don't know. None of these guys actually do anything, and they don't matter. And it's like, we can't justify war goals or anything like that, so... Even if we wanted to attack them, we can't. I mean, this guy's no troops. If we could annex him, that would be really, really good, but... Unfortunately, it's just not possible. I don't even know why they have no divisions. I'm just going to assume that the AI is just not programmed to do anything. Like, you have no troops, you have no troops. Oh yeah, like, actually nobody else has an army. Somehow I did not notice that. Yeah, they just actually do not have soldiers. Okay, so we've made some compromises, and now it is time to propose a chairperson. We have reached a point in debate, ladies and gentlemen, where it is clear where the council's loyalties lie in the debate of the council's future chairman. A few dedicate themselves to an extreme of individual freedom, where no hierarchy or despotism can be allowed to threaten the autonomy of the communes prized so dearly. A few others dedicated themselves to the extremes of communal security, where many give themselves over to the services of protection of all. The rest of us in the reeds liking both but embracing neither, as a farmer looks between two prize pigs. Laughter, haha. I therefore propose that we craft a proposal that navigates these two extremes, working not for ideology or out of cynicism, self-aggrandizing, but out of love for common good and desire to protect the home that we love. The chairman will be equipped with the necessary powers to break stalemates on the domestic issues and emergency powers to ensure the common good is guided by a steady and wrathful hand. The commune, like the council, will ensure that the chairman does not step out of the line while allowing itself to be led with the circumstances demand it. This is the way forward. It looks like, friends, it's a solution that works. Wisdom of the council, power to the chairman, and most importantly all, freedom to the Urals. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. We got even more stability, so it looks like, I don't know, it's hard to say because the council still has 43%. Malenkov is the most likely to win out of the reformers. I mean, the reform does have a majority support. So, I mean, this guy's like 3 divisions. I don't know why he has divisions, but nobody else does. But maybe that's just because of necessity for the events here. 14 out of 13 days. We're very, very close. Who will be the chairman of Orenburg? I'm on the edge of my seat. I don't know about you, but I'm on the edge of my seat. Destruction impede factory output. Adolf Hitler is dead. Tragedy has consumed Germany as the news spread first throughout the Reich and then the world. Adolf Hitler, fear of Germany and victor of the Second World War, has died. Whilst the fear of declining health has been speculated upon for some time, the news have nevertheless left Germany in a state of complete shock. The Reichstag has announced that 3 months of mourning shall be held, and that the Führer shall be buried beside his late wife Eva Hitler. With the dignitaries from around the world invited to the funeral. While Germany mourns internationally, many are celebrating the death of a man held responsible for the 3 decades of suffering throughout the world. Yet many international commenters fear that what may now become Germany, the Third Reich, having already been embattled in a bitter power struggle over the rightful successor of the Führership. Will the German Civil War actually happen in this mod, or in the current build of the mod? I'm leaning towards no. That nothing will just nothing will actually happen here. But we shall see. So we just got some researches done, which is fantastic news. Making better rifles, 0.6 against 0.5. I mean, they're not even that much more expensive, so we might as well. AK-47 in 1958, excellent. Unavailable, just very angry at me. More research speed. That is going to be probably the most important. Let's go back down here. So we have a few more days. 2 more days. The 27th, a day to remember in the council. Oh no, the Civil War did actually happen. Okay. Oh my, there are so many notifications. Okay, so Heinrich's Germany declared war on Göring's Germany. Brahman's Germany declared war on Göring's Germany. Speer's Germany declared war. Okay, there's a million Germanys here. Okay, so I'm guessing the faction basically just doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, no, the factions are just all dead. I mean, the Organization of Free Nations is still around. I mean, so that's something. The Co-Prosperity Sphere as well is still kicking. So what are these 3 factions? We got Speer's Germany over here, who are just fascist. Okay. We have Heinrich's Germany, who are the Burgundian system, and they are like super fascist, I guess. They're just regular Nazis, and you're also just regular Nazis. Okay, and then we got these Nazis here. So we got 2 National Socialist factions. We got the Burgundian. So I'm pretty sure that's like an extreme form of fascism. Like, it's insane. I mean, it's led by the SS, so that's not a huge surprise. Literally, like, all these flags have the swastika in them. So I don't even know what the Civil War is just... I mean, it exists. Do they have troops? Okay, no, they did get event spawn troops in. So the German Civil War. In the wake of Adolf Hitler's death, the Reich has erupted into chaos despite the Führer's appointment of a legal successor. Powerful factions within the Reich have taken up arms against one another in the interest of leading the nation in their vision. The nation is torn, with entire garrisons ignoring orders from Germania and flocking to the successor of their choice. Though the gravity of the situation is not yet known, it is estimated that the Reich is either facing or already experiencing total collapse of central authority. Though not much is known about the fate of the Reich's eastern administrations, the sudden cessation of contact between Germany and her possessions has created a speculation that those regions will now soon find their fate. What is known to be sure, however, is that the collapse of Europe's Titan has thrown the continent asunder. It is thus necessary that the individual should finally come to realize that his own ego is of no importance to the comparison with the extent of the nation. Okay. So basically, the entire European system is just breaking down. That's fine. The council votes. Gets event. Okay, so Malikov has won. As the council struggles forward in the proceedings, the issue of the day appears at last. Cliques gather around the candidates and jostle for the power on the debate floor. The time is drawing near for the council to decide its fate. Burba, the reformer industrialist, or Malikov, the socialist hardliner, have been ridiculed at times, but both of these two strongest but they are the two strongest independent candidates at present, and their directions will both lead the communes down the path of unity and strength. Many also point out that Malikov has a habit of dissociating with former allies and is a bitter, dogmatic hardliner. Others point to the opposite, that Burba is too flexible and willing to make deals with anyone, even former enemies. But if there's one thing Orenburg loves more than arguments, it's sticking to their guns, and Malikov sticks to his guns so hard they may peel off his arse cheeks. Or that's how the joke goes in any case. Of course, many feel the current status quo never did anyone any harm, that Orenburg deserves peace and stability rather than a great blank of any potential chairman. The communes are already a fractious mess, of course, but they're working as intended, and anyone saying otherwise is an enemy of the revolution. For those people in a faction claiming complete autonomy for the council has been formed, and their talks proves surprisingly appealing. The ballots are open and voting begins. Orenburg and the communes wait, breath bated, as the future comes to roost above their heads. So Malikov has risen. We're still Orenburg. But now we are authoritarian socialists led by George Malenkov. I mean, we're still the same country, right? And did it open up more things? It did, okay. So I wonder what the other options here. One of them is definitely for Bourbon. I'm guessing the other one is just staying as decentralized. I'm not too sure. Or maybe there's only 2 options. To ensure security and continuing stability. Reorganize the Workers' Council, reorganize the Orenburg's Guard, secure the other communes, the future is ahead, necessity of communal industrialization, necessity of political centralization, and then WWII success. Okay, so I guess we're going to go with to ensure security, base stability. I mean, stability is going to tank like a rock. I don't even know what the X over here is for. Malenkov inaugurated as chairman. It's not uncommon for the news of Orenburg to reach even the nearest villages with delay. His comments usually have little regard about the internal politics of the main city. But this time, the news about the recent change in leadership became widespread across every village with the speed of thunder in the clear sky. Georgy Malikov, an ambitious hardline politician, was elected as the chairman of the Workers' Council of Orenburg. Once a rising star of the now defunct All-Union Communist Party, whose government career abruptly ended after the German invasion. That is a long-ass name. Georgy, Malikov, I'm guessing, quickly adapted the policies of his birth city and rallied around himself all the city strata with who were deeply dissatisfied with the never-ending political mess of Orenburg and the inability of the councils to adequately represent both pressing issues appealing to the old Soviet principles of democratic centralism and political consolidation. Malikov declared that the imminent end to the dysfunctional pseudo-anarchist system that plagued Orenburg with indecisivity and stagnation. In his inauguration speech comment, Malikov gave his word to elevate Orenburg to the level of advanced countries in the shortest possible terms and embark upon a rapid industrialization program, while sparing the exact details of how his promised prosperity will be achieved. To say that the election of Malikov turned out to be very controversial would be a dire understatement. Many people expressed their support for a newly elected chairman in hopes that the communist strongman will put an end to pervasive anarchy and endless feuds. But even more people, especially the peasantry, reasonably fear that the reign of Malikov will mark a decline in the autonomy and will make their well-being dependent on the whims of the main city. Whatever one thinks of the chairman, there's no doubt that Orenburg, under the helmsman of Malikov, will face great transformation for better or for worse. And then we gain a plus 20% popularity bonus. So we have 78% popularity in our faction. They stopped bombing us. Oh yeah, because in the middle of the Civil War. For a long time, daily life in the remnants of Russia, not protected by the Urals, have been defined by the ruthless Wafa bombing campaigns. Many Russian citizens grew used to hearing the engines of German airplanes and the plunge of their deadly payloads. Yet something changed recently. Many Russian citizens just found a good night's sleep. As they woke up and went down their daily routine, they noticed that the whole day passed without the bombings. A day turned into a week. Whoever had access to radio networks and some grasp of German confirmed the rumors. The Germans collapsed into the Civil War, and the bombings will not be returning anytime soon. For many people, this is a relief, as it allows them to start rebuilding more properly. However, in the halls of power, this is an opportunity for more properly deals, to more properly deal with their enemies at once and for all. So we're no longer getting bombed by the Luftwaffe. I mean, that seems pretty good. You actually like me now. And I can't see why. A general uprising in Poland. While the general government in Poland has always been quiet, it's seemingly been a little bit more thin veneer. Desperately kept on by the Germans in the face of growing unrest. This has become evident within not even weeks after the beginning of the German Civil War. The Polish Home Army, or the AK, has begun a general uprising that has easily toppled the weak general government and its leader, Hans Frank. With a free Poland on the very border of the Reich, the future remains unclear for how well the rest of the German sphere will weather the storm. Still, Poland is completely surrounded by the Reich on all its borders, besides its southern front, where it has some scant access to its rapidly collapsing neighbor in Hungary. One has guessed of the reborn state's future, Kurwa. So the Republic of Poland is back. So now there's basically two Polish governments. And they, they have nothing to do. And then Hungary just collapsed a little bit. I think they collapsed a little bit. But I'm assuming that nothing will actually happen. Again, just by the sheer nature of the mod, the state of the mod, at least for the time being. Heinz Speedos assumes control of Germania, with Germany having collapsed in a civil war across the country. Even at this early state of the conflict, the toll, both in terms of lives and destruction, is rapidly becoming apparent. Yet it appears as though not everyone within the Reich is interested in taking part in this destructive war. In light of the collapse of the Emergency Council, Field Marshal Hans Spiel, best known for foiling the attempted SS coup during the West Russian War today, marched into Germania. On the steps of the Reichstag, with respected war hero Rommel beside him, Spiel declared his neutrality in the conflict. The city of Germania will now be garrisoned by the forces of Spiel, Rommel, and other generals loyal to the cause of neutrality. So Germania, the capital? Yeah, it's just Berlin. So we will see how that all goes. But I think this is going to be a good time to end this episode. Thank you for watching my Anthem. If you enjoyed, my thumbs up. Not enjoyed, can always thumb down. You guys want to subscribe, and goodbye.